there goes next week's supplies. What am I gonna do now? Hello, and welcome. I didn't see you there. I'm Andy William Mackai. And if you haven't noticed, things aren't exactly going my way right now. And it's in moments like these that I like to look back on the better times in my life. Like that time I spent in Stardew Valley. It all started when my dear old grandpappy, Mackai Sr. was in his deathbed with stage 3 wallet cancer. We just didn't have the money to pay the leathersmith to fix it. Poor old man. No Mackai should go without a wallet. Unfortunately, that proved to be the end of him. The shock, you see, was too great for any Mackai to bear. Using the last of his strength, he gave me a sealed envelope, along with the words to open it when the time came. About a decade later, I had found myself among the drones inside the corporate rat race working as an ever-faithful slave for the Georgia Corporation. Maybe you've heard of them before? My grandpappy's passing was traumatic for me. I in no way wanted to experience the horrors of a walletless life. And in order to avoid such a fate, I bowed my head to Georgia. And yes, it worked, but at the cost of my very soul. I just couldn't go on like that. The awkward conversations by the water cooler, the eternal typing on the keyboard, the boss demanding I lick his shoes. I just couldn't do it anymore. That's when I remembered Grandpappy's old note, and in it a chance at a new path forwards. In his old farm, Mackailandia in Stardew Valley. I was on the bus over the next morning. I couldn't drop kick my old boss fast enough. Upon arrival, I was received by one of my grandpappy's old friend and town's very own mayor, Lewis, along with Robin, the local carpenter. After a few pleasantries, we arrived at my new humble abode, Mackailandia Farm. She was a tad beaten up, but I would have taken anything over a sleeping bag under my desk at Jaja's. After being left to my own devices, it was time to start my life's new adventure. This is basically how the game starts. At its core, Stardew Valley is a farming game. As such, you need to farm to start with. To do so, you need to go into the town, greet your new neighbors, go to Pierre's store, buy yourself some seeds, and get to farming. In the beginning, this is the only thing you can really do for a while, and not a lot of it, as you have a tiny energy meter. Hey, I won't judge. I had a tiny energy meter once too. Eventually, you will unlock more and more things as the game goes on. I will break down those things into 3 different categories. The first is farming/gathering/fishing. The second, combat/exploration. And finally, social/romance. Let's talk about farming, gathering, and fishing first. As with any good farming game, you have a variety of fruits and vegetables to plant, many of which can only be grown in their respective seasons. Once they have fully grown, you can sell them to either Pierre's store or place them in the deposit box and they will be sold overnight by the mayor for you. You do this to get monies, which you can then spend back on the farm itself. You can buy animals, upgrade your house, purchase buildings for the farm. Some of these things are more like investments that return the money back to you over time, which you can then spend back on the farm itself for more money again. It's pretty great. Though the farm has a habit of getting dirty with weeds and rocks every now and again, it's annoying. Sometimes it even rains. That just means you don't have to water your crops that day, giving you some free time for other stuff. It's really satisfying to see that crappy little shack transform into your idealized farm over time. With weird trees, bee farms, animals, pets. It's just really fun to plan these things out and watch them come to life as you play. Where will I place those new buildings? I wonder how much money that stack of goat cheese will get me. And so on and so forth. But the farm itself isn't the only place you should be interested in. See, around the map, you can find seasonal plants and fruits that you can bring back to the farm and make wine and jams out of for more money. Or you could just keep them in your inventory so you can refill your tiny energy meter when it runs out. Of course, there's a few things you're gonna need to upgrade your tools for, like breaking rocks or cutting a tree stumps with an axe. To upgrade your tools, go to the local blacksmith, Clint. Other than the blacksmith, Willie, the local fisherman, can give you a fishing rod, and with it, you can, and get this, fish! Fishing in this game is what I would describe as balancing on a unicycle while plucking your eyebrows. It's annoying and stupid, but you get used to it eventually. I mean, I did. Maybe. I don't know. The fish themselves are found in different locations around the map, year-round, and some are seasonal. That's going to be annoying, trust me, as some quests can only be completed with a specific fish, or fruit for that matter. What's that? I need a pufferfish. A fish that only appears at summer at the beach between 12 a.m. and 4 p.m. Alright. What season is it right now? Fuck. Other than that, the game has so-called legendary fish. Fish that were scientifically created to ensure the maximum suffering of the player. And good luck catching any of those fish, buddy. I could barely catch one. But if you really want to give it a shot, I recommend you maximize your fishing skill, buy the iridium rod, get some good bait, and find a trap baker tackle. Good luck. Next is combat and exploration. After some time in-game, the upper right corner of the map, there's a boulder blocking a path, and it will be removed. Going there, you will see an old pirate-looking guy inside a cave. He is the local master of the Adventurers Guild, blah blah blah, who cares. What's really important is the cave, or the old mines, as it is called. See those stairs? Once you go down, you will be in a room full of stones. Breaking them will uncover more stairs. That's how the dungeons basically work in this game. You need to find the stairs to go down. The deeper you go, the more things you will find. Gems, ores, weapons, most of those are self-explanatory. The ores though can be smelted into bars. The bars can then be given to the blacksmith to upgrade your tools. Though getting these things isn't without its troubles. The old mine has monsters in them. Annoying bugs, slimes, is there a way to say this without any political blowback? Shadow men, yes. Oh wait, they're actually called shadow brutes. Go figure. These fearsome foes. Okay, they're not really that fearsome. Stardew Valley isn't really that kind of game. In my experience, the old mines was basically a breeze until floor 100. And even when I bit off more than I could chew and fainted, it was a slap on the wrist more than anything. You lose some items in your inventory, yes, but you can buy them back from the pirate adventurer guy at the Adventurers Guild. Combat itself is what I would describe as mush the button battle fest. No strategy or variation. All enemies go down the same way. All of them. I think combat is in this game to break the core game loop and the monotony that comes with it every once in a while. You can disagree with this if you want. I don't really care. Let's talk about the rest of the map. As I said before, the longer you play, the more things you will unlock. Sometimes you just need to wait, sometimes you need to do it yourself. It's through exploring the map that you can find things of interest, like an entire desert biome with its own cave called the Skull Dungeon that's much harder than the old mines, or a side forest behind a tower below your farm to the left. Exploring the map and uncovering secrets is how you get star drops. Star drops is how you increase the length of your tiny meter. Now if only I could get some of those in real life, I'll tell ya. And there are many secrets to be discovered in this game. Secret statues, secret treasures, secret ponds, secret bushes. What were they doing in there? Secrets, secrets, secrets! And it's all up to you to uncover them. Now, why was the mayor's lost underwear in Marine's bedroom? And finally, social/romance. What would any good game be without good characters? Well, a puzzle game, I imagine. But seriously, a good cast of characters can give a game the final 10% it needs to reach excellence. And how does Stardew Valley compare? Well, let's see. Now, much like real life, you can talk to NPCs, and also like real life, you can only do it once per day. Hello! How dare you say that to me, you bald cretin? F*** off! Okay, maybe it's not quite like real life. In the game, you can talk to them, give them gifts, do quests for them, and over time they'll like you more. You can see your progress in the social tab. And once you get enough hearts, you will unlock events with the characters and learn more about them through the events. It is at this point where Stardew Valley's image kind of falls apart. On the surface, Stardew Valley is a happy-go-lucky kiddie farming sim with minor combat elements. But on closer inspection, it's so grown up. To explain this, I will focus on the character Shane. Upon first meeting him, Shane is probably one of the most hostile characters the game has to offer, along the grumpy old man George and the cheerleader bitch Haley. Shane wants nothing to do with you, and spends all of his off time at the saloon drinking all night. If you go to where he lives, in Marine's farm, and look at his room, or him for that matter, it's all messy and disheveled. He wakes up, goes to work, finishes work, goes to the saloon and drinks. Rinse, repeat. Without even seeing his first event, you can tell this guy hates life, and he hates himself even more. And upon seeing his events, you can see just that, clear as day. This man has no hope, this man has no direction, he is a loser, and he knows it. This all comes to a head in his 6th heart event, where he is near passed out drunk next to a cliff. He is miserable, he is hopeless, and he just wants it all to end. It is very heavily implied what he wants to do here. And I get that, I really do. I understand how it's like to feel so insignificant and worthless, to have no directions or goal in life, or the skill set to try and accomplish them even if you did have them, nor the courage to try and even acquire them, because after all, I'm just a loser. And what can a loser ever do to not be one? Nothing, that's what. That's why he's a loser. He's got nothing. But for as bad as it feels, I have never once thought to take the easy way out, because I understand that even losers have people that care about them. Siblings, parents, friends, lovers, who knows? And if you take the easy way, despite their care for you, and hurt them like that, you really will be a loser forever at that point. That's why losers should go on, not just for ourselves, but for those that care about losers like us. Shane slowly improved from that point out. He tries filming, he tries raising chickens, he's trying to get his life together. And he isn't the only character like that in this game. All the characters have something going on with them. Penny is forced to live in a trailer with her alcoholic mother, Pam. Sam and Vincent's dad is fighting in a war, and they don't know if they will see him again. And Sam feels pressured to look after his younger sibling. Linus is a homeless guy who wants to live by his own rules, even if everyone else rejects him for it. Emily is a free-spirited, eccentric weirdo that has a pet parrot. Mayor Lewis is... Aha! I knew those two were together. I just knew it. No one can fool Mackay's eyes. The mayor and Marine are in a secret relationship because the mayor feels it will undermine his authority as mayor if it is found out. All these characters have something going on with them, and if you want to find out, you need to befriend them first. Or even beyond? Romance them! Stardew Valley has 12 eligible bachelors and bachelorettes in alphabetical order, going from bachelorettes to bachelors. We have Abigail, Emily, Haley, Leia, Maru, and Penny. And as for the bachelors, well, who cares about them? Okay, whatever. And the guys, like I said, who cares? I chose Abigail, by the way. She's adventurous, she's a gamer, she wears purple, that's my color. Her dad owns the local store, that means inheritance money when he dies. I could go on and on, really, but she's perfect. And once you lock onto your target, you can't just put a ring on it. There are steps to this. First, you need to go and get them some flowers. That way you can tell them, hey, I'm interested in dating. See? Simple. Though if you want to pop the big question, you need to wait until a stormy day. Go to the beach and look for a shady fisherman. He will give you a necklace made of, I assume, are seashells. Then you will need to give the necklace to your partner. I mean, I assume rings work just fine, but a shady fisherman's necklace works too, I suppose? Whatever. Assuming your partner accepts, and why wouldn't they? You gave them seashells after all. You will get married 3 days later. That was quick. Well, you're married now. Hope you enjoyed the single life while you had it, because it's all over now. Especially if you've upgraded your house twice, because you already have a kid. What? When did that happen, Abigail? We've only been married for a month. How did this happen? And the kid's already crawling around now. They grow up so fast. Make it stop. Ah! And that is basically what you do in Stardew Valley. But that's not to say that's all there is to do. Every once in a while, the game likes to throw events your way. Like the Egg Hunt Festival, for example, in which I entered and competed against literal children and Abigail and lost.
I lost? Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to lose.
Wait! I get another shot!
So I restarted the day and beat them. Ha! Take that, you brats! Who's the egg hunt master now? I am me, Mackai. These events, while fun, seriously fall off by the second year. By the third, who even cares at that point? And that's kind of how I feel about the rest of the game, honestly. While you can technically play Stardew Valley forever, in practice, it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like someone pressed the repeat button on year 2 and the game is just going over and over again, Groundhog's Day style. A game needs to end eventually, or else it grows stale. And that's what happened to me. Year 1, oh boy, a new day, I can't wait to see what I'm gonna do. By year 3, oh boy, a new day, I can't wait to see what I'm going to do. Still a fun game though, just maybe it's me, but I always say that. But that's not to say that Stardew Valley doesn't have a story or an ending to it. It does, in fact. See, Stardew Valley is about community, togetherness, and the joy life can give you in its simplicity. And what can make for a better antagonist than the antithesis? Georgia Corporation. Stardew Valley is pretty much away from it all. But that won't stop the ever-increasing reach of the Georgia Corporation. After all, money. If you go to the east end of the map, you can see a Georgia Mart has popped up in Stardew Valley. And due to its presence, the local businesses simply can't keep up with it. Morris, the manager of the new Georgia store, basically just barges right into other people's businesses and offers deals to the locals that they would be crazy to turn down. This forces the local business owners into a corner. That's where the community center comes in. Georgia is looking to expand, and it wants to use the community center as a storage facility. Problem is, the mayor doesn't really want to sell it due to the memories, and he's right to feel this way. Community centers are the heart and soul of the village. That's where the villages gather together typically, to celebrate things, to socialize, to be together. To sell it to a corporation really means to abandon the soul of the village, potentially fracturing the community. The problem is the community center has seen better days, and the mayor can't really just have it sitting there, so he might as well sell it to Georgia, but he doesn't really want to sell it. That's why he says he will only do it if one more person joins Georgia. And thus, the battle for the soul of the village begins. And it's up to you to save the day. Or is it? As the community center seems to be haunted by little green guys. And thanks to the help of a local wizard, we can understand them. They are the Junimos, and they want to help. And to help, they are going to need a lot of stuff. Fruit, fish, ores, money, anything you can get your hands on, basically. This is how the biggest fetch quest in the game begins. And after spending 2 years in the game, I got everything needed. Thanks to the Junimos, the community center is restored and the village reunited. The Georgia manager Morris, though, isn't happy about it and threatens to lower the prices of his products even more. Evil bastard. Thankfully, Pierre is there to give him the old 1-2 buckle the shoe, and thus evil is banished. Afterwards, you can go to the Georgia Mart and see it has closed down and has aged by several years in minutes. Odd, but it must have been the Junimos. Though Shane still seems to work there for some reason. Now though, it's time for some rest. for a job well done. Is that Grandpappy? Grandpappy, wait! Don't go! It was all a dream. Or was it? As behind your Grandpappy's altar, you can find a statue, a final farewell gift from Grandpappy. Truly, the greatest gift of them all. As the statue drops iridium ore every single day, the most difficult ore to acquire in the entire game. Grandpappy, you truly didn't let this humble young Mackai down. And that's Stardew Valley. It's just a farming game, but so much more than that too. Every now and again, I get this urge to play the game. This being my 4th playthrough, and with the 1.6 content update that came out last year, I think this is the perfect time to experience it. And it's free. Anytime a game gets DLC that's free, that's an instant okay in my books. And the guy that made Stardew Valley, concernedape, just one guy made this game apparently. And if that's true, hats off to you, sir. Well, concernedape is making another game called The Haunted Chocolatier. We don't actually know when it's coming out, but if we're going by the Stardew Valley creation time, it could be coming out next year, but things usually don't go according to schedule or plan, so we'll see about that. As for the video, it's time I finished it. This has been Andy William Mackai, signing out. Oh wait, this one loose end isn't there. What am I doing here and not in Stardew Valley? Well, it's because Abigail divorced me. It's because I went bald. I used to be so beautiful and happy. It wasn't even subtle either. She just took the entire farm. The villagers grabbed their pitchforks and chased me out. And now I'm living in the garbage like Linus himself. Why did I go bald at 22? It's not fair. maybe my hair will grow back?